don't want to sound too happy when I share this, but the Chicago Bears have fired both their head coach, Matt Nagy, and their general manager, Ryan Pace. And it's a day I have waited and waited and waited for a long time. For years, actually, I've been waiting for Matt Nagy to get fired. And more importantly to me, actually, is watching Ryan Pace get fired. I watched bad play calling, bad leadership, bad roster moves. And really the challenge now is to hire someone good because, I guess two guys. They got to hire a head coach and a general manager. I'm really curious who they're going to hire because they need an offensive-minded coach who can help develop their young quarterback, Justin Fields. I vote for Brian Daboll, the Bills' offensive coordinator. He helped develop Josh Allen. Imagine if you got like Brian Daboll and Mike Zimmer as defensive coordinator. That'd be awesome. I want to see that. But I just can't say enough how glad I am that not only was Matt Nagy fired, but Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace is gone. And both of them needed to go, but remember, Ryan Pace is the guy who drafted Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, and he got a pass for that for years. And whether not everyone knew what Patrick Mahomes was going to become and Deshaun Watson, stuff like that, but when it comes to talent-wise, Trubisky was not the number 2 overall pick. He was totally overdrafted. And I don't care about like what you saw. On film, he was not a first-round pick. I will always say that. And then the fact that he built Ryan Pace built bad team after bad team, and we blamed Matt Nagy for not being able to win with that team. And I'm like, what about the guy who built the roster? They both need to go. And everyone after Matt Nagy, people were having signs, fire Matt Nagy and chanting at his high school football games. Why did no one ever chant fire Ryan Pace? I'm so glad to see him gone as well. I was worried that Chicago was going to fire just the coach and not the GM, and I don't know who they're going to hire next. I have no idea, but these guys, man, they did so bad. And I remember, so it can all be true. I think a lot of people are going to say, well, Trubisky wasn't all bad. He had Matt Nagy coaching him, and Matt Nagy was a bad head coach. And I would argue, well, look, Trubisky should not have been a first-round pick. He should not have been a number 2 overall pick. He should not have been a franchise quarterback. Trubisky had about the talent level of a backup quarterback. And I'll tell you what, I will say this till the day I die. Watching Mitchell Trubisky film, he had so many opportunities downfield that he didn't pull the trigger on or that he missed or was inaccurate on. So I think there was a period where Matt Nagy was making really great play calls and just Trubisky was not good enough. And they found a way to win and make the playoffs, by the way, with Mitchell Trubisky. And so people want to pick a side. Was it Trubisky's fault or Matt Nagy's fault or Ryan Pace's fault? I would say all of them were bad. And Matt Nagy was a bad coach. Pace was a bad GM. Trubisky was a bad quarterback. And I'm glad to see now they got a young, they're entering the second year now with Justin Fields next year. And I'm glad to see that Justin Fields will no longer have to suffer at the hands of the people who are running the Chicago Bears anymore. I'm curious who they hire, but I'm very, very excited for the future of the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields and whoever they hire to be their next head coach in Chicago.